We got a 1999 Chevy Blazer today. Customer thought he needed a new axle or something. Horrible noise. This hub assembly had no play, but lifted it up in the air, 4-wheel drive, spinning it, put my stethoscope on it. You could hear it just rrrr. All right, 4-wheel drive's not working. That's because the hub's so bad, the ABS scanned it. Front right speed sensor, no signal. So we're gonna be replacing this hub assembly today to fix the 4-wheel drive and what he thought was an axle problem. Oh, we're gonna start off with getting the brakes apart. That's an 18 millimeter. Just gonna zip these off. Good idea to clean and grease them up when you put them back in. Use some high temp silicone based brake grease. You get this caliper off. See if the pistons will go back a little bit for me. Using the in-between of the rotor to get a little pressure. They seem pretty stiff. Tried to do all this in real time today. Those guys are super stiff. There we go. Get them to press back a little bit. Try not to let our caliper hang too much there. Alright, now I believe we got some 18 millimeters here. As usual, those are on there very well. Then on our top one, you're gonna need a 18 millimeter wrench. You can't get a socket in there. You're gonna need a different bar. Get our top one off first. They both broke free, and then we'll zip off the bottom one. There we go. She's out. Tools. Bada boom. Now we need that rotor off. Usually you have to hammer them on these spots in between the lugs, get them to break free. This one came right off. It's pretty cool. All right, next step, we got the axle nut. Might be a good idea to break this before you lift it up, break the nut free. Yeah, it's not gonna break free. My big impact just went out, so all I've got is my little one right now. And it doesn't have enough to take it off. Ooh. Alright, I'm just gonna lower her down so I can get the axle to stop turning. I should have broke this free while it was on the ground, knowing that my big gun was down. We'll get her though. Or left the brakes on and put a board on the brake pedal from by myself. And that would have worked as well. God, this guy's on there good. Too tight. Turn the wheel straight. Oh my God. We're gonna heat this nut up. Holy crap. Yeah, you run into this every once in a while. This one doesn't look all that rusty, but it's on there, that's for sure. After we put everything together, there's going to be an axle nut torque spec on that. I'll let you know what that is. When we go to put it back on, we'll look her up. Alright, just applying some heat. Hopefully I don't have to heat anything else. We'll shut these torches down, lift it back up into view. A little great to have oxyacetylene laying around. Alright, so especially if you're by yourself, get that axle nut to break free first before you do anything. Have it on the ground, hit the brakes. You can take the center cap off of the rim. Get in there. We got a 36 millimeter on that axle nut. 36 mil. 19 millimeter on the lug nuts. The washer's going to be hot. And we need the little magnet. Go. Washer out. Now we need to get our hub bolts out. Turn the wheel all the way one direction. There we go. I believe those are going to be 18 millimeter as well. They look a lot more rusty. Yeah, we got 18 millimeter. We'll go with the short extender so we can get up in there with our 18 millimeter half-inch drive. My big impact probably would have took that out. It's all good though. Got the bar. Breaker free. There we go, it's pretty stiff. Let's see if she'll zip out for us. There we go, there's one. Now we'll turn the wheel the other way. Steering wheel will lock, so I have the key to the on position so it can turn. Makes it easier. Let's see if we can get something on this side. There we go. Get this axle just pushed back, give us a little more room. We're going to use an air chisel. There's a hole right in the center of the end of the axle there. If you don't have an air chisel, they're really cheap. If you don't have one, you can put the nut back on. So many threads and give it a few hammer blows, but this is the way to do it. There we go, just push back a little. Gives us a little more room there. This is coming out stiff the whole way. See if we can get that air impact on this one now. The sway bar is kind of in the way. So I'm going to go with an extender with a little wobble in. That's a little longer. See if we can get past that. In there. I had to go forward with it a little bit and then bring it back. Alright, we got one more. And the ball joint's in the way just a little bit, but we can fit it on there. Top one's the trickiest. I almost think I want to go turn the wheel this way for that one. No, that's not going to work. All I have to do, not much room. These would come out a lot easier if I put some heat on the threads where they're sticking out. Now get a real good grab on this. Let me try a different 18. This 18's a little worn out, a little sloppy. We want it as tight as possible. We want to start rounding any corners. Let's see, are we on there? That ball joint is in the way. Is there an 18 millimeter that fits tighter? Another 18. It's 12 point though, I don't like that, but hopefully it's tighter. It's a slight angle because of that CV boot. Needs to press back more for me. Alright, we'll see if this cracks are free. Yeah, there we go. That was a better grip. And that other socket's getting a little worn out. It's coming out stiff the whole way. Clean up the threads on these before we put the bolts back in. Turn her without a bar. If it'll stay on there. I don't know what just happened. There we go. Cocked on me. Kind of started jamming as I got to the ball joint. That's not going to happen on every one of these, but it could happen. We've got to take our wheel speed sensor wiring harness out now. This one is not bolted in where it should be. Somebody zip tied it. It's probably been replaced before. You buy cheap parts, that's what you get. You'll be replacing them again down the line. Got another zip tie over here. Up underneath this flap is the connector. That's out. Take yourself a little screwdriver or pliers, needle nose or whatever, and get the Christmas tree out of here. Clips it in. Now our wiring harness is free. Perfect. I'm going to turn the wheels. I'll go with some PB Blaster. Kind of lubricate everything. It's been on there for a while though. It's pretty rusty. You can take an air chisel to this, but you can gouge your dust cover and whatnot. We're gonna hammer at the back. There we go. This one came out pretty easy. Normally you're gonna be doing more than that. All right, we still got a bolt in the back there. You wanna come out all the way before I hit that ball joint nut. Now that the hub assembly is forward, you should be able to get this bolt out the rest of the way. It's almost out. Started hitting right on the end. It's still a little toasty. There we go, it's out. It doesn't want to break free from the axle. Press it back. There we go. Our hub is out. We pull the wiring harness through the dust cover. And remember what position this goes in. So you got your caliper right here, so there's the opening. Don't flip it around and put it on like this. I'm gonna clean this guy off with the wire wheel a little bit where it contacts. I'll also clean out this. pretty rusty. Let's see if we can get our bolts out. I want to clean that up. We'll take all our bolts to the wire wheel. Give her a good clean. There we go. A little better. Let's get our new hump assembly. Every time you do a hub assembly, change the axle nut. Grab one of them. We got a zip tie on the new part. Let's cut that off. Now we got to wire wheel some bolts. Hub assembly bolts, brake slide caliper bolts. Get those nice and clean. When the bolt's all cleaned up, I like to put them through and then put the dust cover on. Kind of keeps it on there if you don't have somebody to help hold it. Oh my God, stay still, caliper. There we go. Get a little bit of grease on the splines here. Helps it slide through the new hub easier. Keep her from rusting a little bit. If we gotta take this hub off, break free a lot easier with a little bit of grease. If you gotta take it off in the future to change some other stuff. All right, now we're ready to feed our wire through. Every once in a while I like to do a video just in real time. Just throw it out there, how long it actually takes to do this. And this is for somebody who's done it before and has pretty much all the tools. Oh, we gotta turn the wheel straight. This makes it easier. Real time, you get all the tips and everything too, you know? Alright, wire through. One bolt hole up. Get the splines to line up. See, we're gonna start these bolts hand tight. Get it down in here. Not want to slide on all the way. Hope we got the right part here. That's a little better. Alright, getting all our bolts started by hand. Make sure they're going in smooth. Perfect. Woo. Alright, we'll get that top one kind of zipped in first. That way it doesn't give us any trouble. If we zipped in the other ones first, it's going to give us a little trouble. guy. We'll turn the wheel, get the other one. You want to make sure you get these real nice and tight. Oh yeah. Now we're going to spin it the other way and hit the other two guys again. Flush everything out. Come on, Ratchet. Work with me here. I can see that hub squeezing together now on that shield. All right, here we go. I'm just gonna zip this axle nut on. I'm not gonna final torque it or anything. Now we're gonna hook our wire back up. Looks like some hold downs are broken off, so I'll have to zip tie it, just like they had it. We'll put our rotor back on. I'm gonna go ahead and clean up the caliper mounting bracket and pads. Put a little grease in the slide pins, clean those up. We got our bracket back on. Clean up the caliper a little bit, pretty rusty on the ears. Throw that back on. Make sure you prime your brake pedal after you're done, because I did press the piston back. You know, give it a few taps on the brake pedal. Get her set. And then all we have to do is check torque spec on this. When we get everything back together, we're gonna set it on the ground and put the torque wrench on it. But right now we need torque specs. So let me grab you those torque specs. I gotta charge them extra. I broke a sweat. There's that. Go to our torque specs over here. Blazer and Jimmy, 4-wheel drive. And let's see here, the years are we got 1997 to 2005, all the same, 103 foot-pounds on that axle nut. Seems a little light, but the axle nut that was on there was way over torqued. That's for sure. So I'm not gonna film cleaning the brake caliper and all that. You guys get the gist. Rotor back on, caliper mount back on, mounting bracket, caliper back on, tire back on. Zip your lug nuts on, 19 millimeter, set it on the ground, get your final torque of 103 foot-pounds on that axle nut. We'll do it.